everyone. This is part one in a series of videos I'm going to release that is going to go through the operations of the Fed Forum applications. There's three applications. This one's going to cover the first application, the soldier safety application. Now we're going to leverage two sensors in this presentation. It's a bit of a change from our original thought of just the sensor tag itself. We're going to leverage both an MS band and a sensor tag. The sensor tag is only going to be used for the sit-up portion of the presentation. And the reason being is the MS band, depending on how I have it positioned on my wrist, if it's tight, if it's loose, if I have a skinny wrist or a thicker wrist, tends to give me different results. And I want very predictable results when doing the sit-up on stage in front of all those people. So we're going to simply hold a sensor tag in our hand and use it for the sit-up along with the MS band that'll be on my wrist. Now both bridges need to be running on your cellular device or your iOS device. Both the Evo Things bridge, the standard sensor tag bridge, that sensor tag needs to be named the exact same name as your MS band. Now there's also a bridge that needs to run on your iOS device. That you can download and install onto your iOS phone or your iPhone 5 or 6. And upon launching the actual bridge, after it's installed, it'll ask you for a name of the sensor or the MS band. You want to name it the exact same name as the sensor tag, and it is cap sensitive. So if I name one soldier, I should name the other soldier. Now notice soldier is appearing in my list of active soldiers here in the rectangle to the left. Also below it tells me that I have selected that sensor. In the lower right hand corner of this footer there's a series of or a set of gears, and those gears allow you to define back-end processes such as sending a text message or an SMS message based upon parameters that are being fed to the dashboard. So my heart rate or skin temperature, or any of the sensor readings that I capture from my MS band, or even some of the artificially generated values that are being sent to the dashboard. Again, we are sending artificially generated values at the group level because we can only have one device or one MS band and one sensor tag being fed to the dashboard at a time. So if I have a group of individuals, obviously I'm going to have more than one MS band and one sensor tag. So we artificially generate the data at the group level. So once the sensor is selected in the list, I'm going to press next. It's going to paint a military scene with an obstacle course and an abandoned building. I have my soldiers listed in my legend. I have two groups, Group 1 and Group 2. I only have data for Group 1, and specifically PFC O'Keefe. Group 2 has no data. It's just there for display. Now we're going to run our soldiers through this obstacle course, and they're going to enter the building on another drill that they're going to perform. Now ultimately PFC O'Keefe is going to go to the wrong location after they enter the building. The reporting officer will be alerted to that situation. So to start or initiate the process of having them run through the obstacle course and into the abandoned building, I'm simply going to press the Run Group button. A couple of notes of interest. We also have a play audio and a pause audio button. Notice when the application is launched you hear voice guidance that will take you through the operations of the application. You can pause it to silence the audio and then play it again, and it'll resume from its original point. I'm going to press the Run Group 1 button. Once I press it, the soldiers will run through the obstacle course. Notice the color-coded circles as they run through the obstacle course. They correspond with the color circles next to the soldier's name in the legend. As they enter the abandoned building, you notice two enemies are flashing. Three soldiers enter in the correct location, but Private O'Keefe goes to the wrong location. An alert is raised to the reporting officer. Private O'Keefe is flagged with a red circle around her, telling the reporting officer that we have a situation where she went to the wrong position. At this point, the reporting officer may want to drill into his group information and learn more about some statistics about his group. To do that, I simply click on the Group 1 label in the legend. The Group 1 label in the legend. And that is here. Once I drill on that Group 1 label, um, information will be fed to my dashboard at the group level. Notice Private O'Keefe has a flashing alert next to her name. So we're going to drill into that in our next step of this process. Again, we're getting heart rate at the group level, so it's artificially generated. Again, I think I've explained why that is. And average respiratory rate, distance from vehicle, and skin temperatures all being fed to the dashboard. When it turns from green to red, red generally signifies or denotes that we've breached the threshold that we defined in the application, that they can define in the application. We have two maps to the left, a list of all my soldiers and this specific soldier, or my sensor tag or MS band and its location. Now, once again, we had said that Private O'Keefe had an alert. It was flashing. If I click on Private O'Keefe here in the Group 1 box, her information will be displayed. At this point, we are now reading information directly from the sensor or the MS band. So we get heart rate from the MS band, so you can run around, move around, and have the MS band show different results. Also, skin temperatures being fed from the MS band. Now, average respiratory rate and hours of sleep is not information we get from the MS band, but it is being displayed here, just as additional information for Private O'Keefe. Now, if you want to review what Private O'Keefe did during that exercise, all you simply have to do is press this review exercise button. A video will be displayed. Press the play button, and it'll run you through the exercise that initially occurred when we launched the application. It'll run you to the abandoned building and show Private O'Keefe that, in fact, you did end in the wrong location. To close this window, press this X button here in the upper right-hand corner. Now, as part of this application, in addition to all that we've showed thus far, we have the ability to record activity from a soldier. It's been noted that a soldier may do sit-ups or run miles or laps in a day or push-ups, and generally they have to record that information manually. Well, we're going to show them how they can record that information just with sensors either on my wrist or, in this case, the sensor tag that's in my hand. So I'm going to press the Record Soldier Activity button here. Once we press that, a little iPhone app will appear. Obviously, this can be on any device, but in this case, it's going to be an iPhone app. I'm going to place the sensor tag in my left hand, and I will attach a photo that will explain exactly how that sensor tag needs to be placed in your hand, because position is extremely important. Once again, we get more consistent results because of fit issues with the MS band. If there's movement or slop in the MS band, we generally get values that jump around a bit, whereas with the sensor tag, it's a bit more secure in my hand. So I'm going to take my hand behind my head, and you notice the little animated character lies down. So again, with the sensor in hand, my hand is behind my head. The sensor is in my left hand. If I press begin to record and then move forward towards my right knee with my elbow, just as you would do a sit-up, notice one sit-up is complete. So this text label moves from a start to complete, and we record a sit-up. Now, it recorded two by mistake because I didn't get up fast enough because of the recording. But generally, it just does one simple sit-up, and it records in the counter here itself. Now, to do this sit-up, all you simply want to do is put your hand behind your head, sensor in hand, elbows in, not out, so elbows pointing somewhat close to the ceiling itself and not out towards the floor or horizontally. And then just simply, as you're sitting up, reach with my elbow towards my knee, and I'm doing this while sitting in a chair. And I think that's the best way to do it, so the audience doesn't lose the visual of the person actually doing the sit-up. So you can do this in a chair and it works just as well. Probably even works better. And once again, I could reach, record, and then back up. Now, When I first enter this portion of the application, it's important to note that nothing will be recorded until I press the record exercise button. So you may be trying to do an exercise and nothing's happening within this window or this window. And that's because I did not press this button. Now the reason we did that is because simply we want to eliminate any errant movement and have it record in the actual dashboard itself. So it's kind of a press to begin type thing, where we're not taking erroneous results from the sensor until we're ready and in position to actually begin to record the sit-up. That's it for today's presentation on this portion of the application. Again, this is the very first application. We will release additional videos for the other two applications, and they will also explain the operation of the application. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.